Welcome everybody to Shift Your Mindset, my channel about vulnerability, love, spreading love, and also personal growth. Today I want to take you back to my former life, a life as a Jehovah Witness. I'm born and raised as a Jehovah Witness. I was only a few years old when I had to go door to door with my parents, go to meetings, living the life like any Jehovah Witness lives. As far as I can remember, I don't celebrate holidays, Christmas, birthdays, and it made a huge impact on me, even as a little child, because I want to be a part of the group, part of my class in preschool, and I'm the only one who's not giving treats to other children, and also not receiving any gifts or treats that day. Made a huge impact on me because I didn't understand why. My parents explained it and said, yeah, the Bible forbids it. And that's a little bit how it goes along the way. Everything I was taught was about being compliant to what the Bible says. And that's difficult, even for a child. I remember all the literature about Jehovah Witnesses that we study, and we only study that. So it was difficult for me to get another perspective, and it made me a little boy with tunnel vision, and that God is looking upon me over my shoulders, and that's good, that's wrong, and it was all black and white. And I think about when I was 15, 16 years old, I was in a phase that I didn't want to be a Jehovah Witness anymore. I think more kids at that age can relate to that, because you're exploring your own world and you want to be an adult and you want to make your own choices. And that's something we never learned in Jehovah Witnesses, in the religion, in the cult, like some people say, because everything is controlled from the top. And that was difficult for me because I like freedom. Even as a little child, I want to be free, make my own decisions, explore what's right and what's wrong, and to feel what's wrong and what's right. And I now see that the feeling you have at some things, or some decision-making things, that you are in your head, because you're always thinking. So I was struggling a lot during that day, during that time. But when I was 18, 19, I finally got baptized. Why? If I look back now, it was because all the other kids in the congregation of me were also baptized much earlier than me. So sometimes I hear a brother or a sister say, "Oh, you're already 18? Isn't it time to give your life to Jehovah?" And my parents never pushed me, but I feel the pressure. I could feel the pressure at that time. So I also get baptized, and when you're baptized, you're never thinking about leaving the religion. Never. For me, never. It was just a logical step in the process of becoming baptized, get more responsibilities in the congregation, and that's how life goes. There's a certain pressure. They don't talk about it, they don't say it out loud, but there is a pressure because your whole social network around you is a Jehovah Witness, and that makes you feel like you have to keep up with everyone. So I was baptized, I got married, I after 7 or 8 years, my wife left me. She was also Jehovah Witness. It was a non-biblical divorce, as they say. So I wasn't free to marry again. She also wasn't free to marry, but she made that decision and left anyway. And that's the first time that I felt that there's something wrong in the religion and also in the congregations. Because brothers and sisters were not welcoming me when they found out about it. They were, "What did you do that she left?" I said, "Why has the man has something to do, because why?" Sisters and women also make decisions and take actions. Why has it always be the man who does something wrong? So instead of being loved and people support me, it was that people were looking at me, that I was different. And from that time, the whole atmosphere around me and in the congregation was different for me. And people were divided. Some people were behind my wife and her decision. Some people were behind me. I never said to anybody to take a side, because there are no sides, in my opinion. And you just have to see the person and not take sides. It's also one thing the Bible doesn't teach. And God is love, they say, but I didn't feel the love at all. So that's for me the first time I was like, hey, this is maybe not the place I want to be in. Love wasn't unconditionally. Love was on certain conditions. And you have to do this, then it goes up, up, up. Then it goes the right way. If you do that, and you go the wrong way, we don't look at you anymore. We don't speak to you anymore. And that's why I found out when I was divorced. It was a long period. It was also a dark period for me, because there wasn't someone to blame. It was not scripture based divorce, so it was also difficult for the elders to control that situation. But it made me realize that there's more in life than only the religion. And then about the sexual abuse of children, the way they handled it, because I got more responsibilities. I was a ministerial servant at the time, and I could take a closer look because I was working with the elders and they told me stuff and they were training me to become an elder. So then you hear more about the inside of the religion. And I question a lot, because I said, when a victim, why don't you go to the police? Why don't you make a case? No, it's up to the victim, and we have to send it to battle, because that's how it goes. And from there the branch takes it further and they take actions. They tell us what to do. I said, but you're qualified enough. Why don't you just make up your own mind and decision and protect the victims? So that was the second time for me that it wasn't something right. I grew up in the Netherlands, and there are also now questions asked about child sexual abuse, also the shunning policy. I think they're following Norway now, because in Norway there was a big case against the Jehovah Witnesses recently. But it made me feel and wonder and think outside the religion and outside what I was taught by my parents. And they only stimulate you to research within the religion and their own literature. And I went a little bit further, so I googled stuff, and watched some YouTube videos about the other people who left the religion, and they made some valid points. And that's why I also make this video, because it's not about only those people who make the religion bad because they left. No, they have valid points why you should research for your own good. It's not about bashing the organization or the religion. It's about waking you up. And I was asleep for a long time because it was only automatically. You go to your work, you do your study in the evening, you go to the congregation meetings, you go from door to door. Your whole life was filled with one tsunami of activities for Jehovah. And just before COVID, I made a decision that I wanted to go out, and then COVID came. And that was for me a big relief, because we all were inside our homes. There were no congregation meetings anymore. There were no door-to-door activities for a time. So my whole world stopped. And that was a period of time that I enjoyed the most. The pressure was off. And I was thinking, why did I go to door that much? And what is the result of that? And why am I doing that? And I started to ask myself questions and investigate some things about what I was thinking about, what I thought was wrong in the organization. And then you stumble upon more and more things. We have our own Bible, but is our Bible translated 100% correctly? I found out, no, not at all. So, when you read things in the Bible, I never questioned it when I was growing up as a Jehovah Witness. I was never studying, is it translated correctly from the Greek or the Hebrew scriptures? What is the original word for this or for that? And how is it translated in our translation of the Bible? Why do we have our own Bible? Yeah, we call it the truth when we are Jehovah Witnesses. But is it the truth? Ask yourself that question. Why do we have to have our own Bible, our own literature? We claim that we are the one and only religion that has Jehovah's approval. But is it really true? Or is it also a religion, just like the other religions, who just want to control us, just want to say what we have to do and keep us in line? Do you need an organization to have the blessings of a God or Jehovah, whatever you call him? I think you don't need an organization, especially an organization who's not a printing company anymore, but more like a real estate company if you do your search online. Where do they put their minds on right now? How do you justify the recent changes they make, that women can wear pants, that brothers can have a beard now? It was never forbidden in the scriptures to have a beard. No one could ever show me a verse in the Bible about beards being forbidden now. It's just some men in the headquarters who say, we forbid people to have a beard in the organization. How many people left for that? How many people were discouraged by some elders telling them that they are not a good Jehovah Witness if they have a beard, that they don't get to talk on a podium in the congregation, if they have a beard, that they don't can go door to door because they don't dress and shave the beard. It's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. I hope you guys wake up. So in that COVID period, I learned a lot about the organization, that they were a member of the United Nations for a long time. We as Jehovah Witnesses were always told that we are no part of the world, that we don't vote, we don't go in the military, we don't be a part of Satan's world. But how do you justify that you are a member of the United Nations for so long? And only because someone find out that you stopped that agreement with the United Nations. So I was living in the Netherlands, and when COVID hits, it was a blessing. I found out a lot of the things going on in the religion. And then I go to the elders. I went to the elders and say that I'm not sure that I want to be a Jehovah Witness anymore. I could also be silently go to the back door, be inactive, and then everyone could still talk to me. But my decision was that I don't want to be a member of the Jehovah Witness anymore. So then you get a judicial committee. 3 men in front of you already have the judgment ready. There was no loving feeling atmosphere in that room. They told me, Sven, we want you to be a Jehovah Witness. We don't want to lose you. We want to help you. No, when you made a decision, then the love is gone, people. The love is gone. And I felt it. And that made me strong, because now I knew I made the right decision. So I left. And before that, I told my parents that there was a judicial committee, and that, yeah, I was being disfellowshipped in a week or 2 weeks. I got 1 week to think about it and make up my mind again to come back. But if I come back, then there's a lot of restrictions. Huh? You have to sit on the back seat, or you're not get any privileges. You can't speak publicly in a meeting or whatever. So after that week, I already didn't go to the meetings, online also not. So it was announced that I was no longer Jehovah Witness. And that, people, that is something no one is prepared for. When you get baptized, you're never thinking about leaving the organization. But it was a hard time. Because in my WhatsApp list, every picture went to dark. Everyone was ignoring me. After that meeting, a few minutes later, everyone was gone. Nobody talks to you anymore. And that's strange. That's a very strange feeling. Also, my mom and dad, my sister, my nephews, my brother-in-law, no one ever responded to me. I moved to South Africa with my wife, now my wife, at that time my girlfriend. And because we wanted to be in a place with more freedom. In the Netherlands, we didn't like the way it was going. Everything was micromanaged, so we went to South Africa to start some businesses here. And after Amanda was here, my mom died. So my sister called me, mom died. I didn't even know that she had an attack and that she was in the hospital for already 2 weeks or whatever. My worldly uncle kept me posted. He was the only one who kept me updated about the situation. So my sister called me, Mom has died. So I said, okay, I buy a ticket, I book a ticket and I come back. No, you're not welcome at the funeral. Then my whole world collapsed, because that's even more strict than the religion tell you in the rules. So I wasn't invited to the funeral, and from that day I never talked to anyone of my family again. And that was a dark period in everyone's time, in my time, because your whole social network is collapsing. You have to make it on your own. So my advice to anyone who's doubting, who have doubts about the organization, make a plan. Make a plan. Know what you're going to do, because it's hard. You're gonna lose everybody, but I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, an honest truth, telling my parents that I was leaving the religion was the hardest thing I had to do, because my mom was crying, my dad was angry. But when I drove off to home, the weight on my shoulders were gone. I had so much power and energy in my body that I thought, this is the best decision of my life. This is my birthright, to choose what I want. I'm not a bad person, I'm still the same person, and it's good. This is the best decision I could make. So know that you lose something, but you win more. You get more friends back than that you are losing at that moment. So don't stress, don't get excited about it, that you are losing everything. No, the universe will take care of you. And life isn't that bad on the outside. Many people stay inside because it's familiar, it's well known. And I get that. That's also something what feels natural at that time, but it's not natural. It's natural that you're going to feel what's going on inside you, that you feel what you want to do, that there's more than being controlled, than being told to do this, told to do that. You can make up your own mind. And when you're living your own life, you're not a bad person. It's your birthright to choose what you want to do. Take a hobby, follow your path. Do things where you get a smile upon your face. Get your passion, get that fire started again inside you, that you want to do something, that you don't want to work a lousy job because your parents tell you, you just have to have some income, but that's not important. The only thing what's important is Jehovah and the paradise and everything. I don't think there's a paradise coming. We're living on a paradise. Make it your paradise. Make it your own. Build your own future. Don't give it out of your own hands. Don't rely on others. And especially don't rely on men in some headquarters who tell you what to do and how to do it and how many times you have to do it in a week. Don't get your hopes up and don't put your faith in those people. Put your faith in yourself. We're all part of God and we all have the same energy. And you can create something. Create your own future for yourself and your loved ones. Don't be scared, because the world is not going to eat you up alive. Inside the religion, you're going to lose yourself bit by bit, piece by piece. So that's my story about how I was waking up from a religion I was deep in it. It was a long time I was in it. I don't have regrets anymore that I was in the religion. It learned me a lot. I'm not giving my father something to blame. I'm not blaming my father anything. Also, I'm not blaming my father or my sister for not being at the funeral. I made peace with it because sometimes people have to play a role to get the best out of you, out of me. If my father wasn't the man he is now, I never could have taken this decision. I never am the man that I am now. I wouldn't be half of it if he wasn't like he is. So he played his part. He played his part for me to wake up, to grow personally, to shift my mindset. That's why I call this channel Shift Your Mindset. We have to shift how we think. And we have to go to that feeling, that gut feeling that you have at certain points in your life during the day. We have to listen more to what we feel instead of thinking. It's also a hard process for me after leaving the religion to be more about feeling stuff, because we used to do everything with the head. It has to have a certain way of thinking, and we always relate to things we learned along the way, but we're all conditioned and we all have to let things go before you can grow yourself. Life is about letting things go, and what I'm letting go is the religion. I have no hard feelings about the religion. If you want to stay in the religion because you're happy, if you're truly happy, stay in the religion. I'm not convincing people to go out of the religion, but I only want people to do your research. Is it true what I'm reading? Is it true what this Bible says? Don't put your future in the hands of anybody else. You have to make peace with yourself. We have to forgive each other. I learned what conditional love is in the religion. I'm now learning what unconditional love is. Here around in the nature, I learned unconditional love. Around the people I like, my wife, my parents-in-law, everything is so different now. So do your research, people, and don't buy anything you're told to do or to believe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.